It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, happy November. You know what October felt like? It felt
What's
like
that?
April because it was
Yeah.
warm this week.
It was warm. It was beautiful, George. And went back and forth, though. I mean, what we started the beginning of the week in what, like the 40s and ended the week in the 80s? I
Listen,
mean, that was crazy.
did you wake up on time today? Because we're here, but I thought I was
Well,
gonna have to text you.
well, don't tell everybody my business. Okay.
All right, so just reminding you that we set the clocks back this morning at 2 a.m. And so if you're listening to us at the regular hour on Power 620, you know it's after 9 o'clock, not after
Yes,
10 or whatever it's after 9. Because we went
exactly.
back an
We
hour.
went back.
We
Okay.
went back. All right.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We went back. But you know what? In fact,
Oh, I got one more thing for you. Oh, go
good.
ahead, Vicki. I got one more thing for you.
All right.
You know it's election season.
Yeah.
Tuesday, we are going to make a very significant electoral choice, maybe one of the more significant in our lifetime for a lot of reasons. But today, Vicki, today, as we sit here on this November the 3rd, 2024, this is your last day to cast an early ballot. Polls are open from 9 a.m., so they just opened from
Right.
9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the 10 locations throughout Onondaga County. And so if you are on your way to church and haven't voted, you can go to any one of these centers anywhere,
So I
whether
don't
it's
have to wait to be in my neighborhood, right? I
you
can
do
go to
not,
anyone.
anyone, and you give them your name and they will look you up and they will say, oh, you're in this district. They will print out your ballot for your district at whatever location you're at, and you will cast that ballot. And so I encourage you, if you have not voted already, to vote today because you know election day is going to be crazy.
So you know what? I heard someone a couple of days ago say something that just really struck me, and I want to share it. I hope I get it right this way. He said, "You know what? All of us will sit down and vote for the American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll vote for
Seriously, right?
seriously.
Uh.
I mean, seriously. Okay, put in the vote for the American Idol or for what is it, Housewives of Atlanta. We have
Right.
gotten accustomed to participating in all types of events that require our input and our vote. So why are you not, if you haven't done it already, what are you waiting for? You already know that the process, in fact, I've looked at statistics around the country so far, process is taking roughly 28 to 30 minutes
Mm.
max.
Mm-hmm.
28 to 30 minutes max. Yet, okay, we have spent that type of time on voting for all kinds of things in the reality TV spectrum. There is nothing more real at this point in time than what's happening in our political environment and the choices that we have to make as far as the leadership. And you know,
Is
I
there a
was
choice?
listening.
I mean, is there a choice?
Well, I don't listen. I said choices because that's there is Vicky's choice. Okay, Vicky's admission. Okay, is the fact, and I think I have alluded to it around all the things that I've said for the last 3 weeks. Is that I am staunchly behind Vice President Kamala Harris as our next president of the United States. Unapologetic about it, very,
Mm,
very frank about it, have
come
talked
on.
about her cabinet and moving her forward. So let me say the name
Okay.
Kamala
Say her
Harris. Okay.
name.
That I want to make sure that that is on record. In fact, when I was listening to it, and it's interesting, George, more and more people are starting to take a vocal stance because we do not want it misinterpreted or come back later on and say, well, you alluded to. No alluding to. This is an actual statement because I know from all of the things that we have viewed so far. And you know what else, the other thing that struck me the other day, we have been, when she keeps talking about turning the page,
Right.
you know how you're involved in things for a long period of time and you don't realize how much time has passed? 9.5 years. 9.5 years of the onslaught of the confusion and the craziness and all of the lies and all of the misinterpretations and all of the things that have happened from the time that, as we always allude to, from the time that Trump came down the elevator, that golden elevator, that scene that we will never forget. So it is absolutely time to turn the page. So I am making sure that I make on the record as far as my I wouldn't say endorsement, okay, because who am I to endorse anyone? But as far as making it clear where I stand on this election going forward.
There's no other choice. There's just no other choice. Okay, just so that I'm clear, and I think I made myself clear too. There ain't no other choice. So
one of the other things that I also realize is that there are many, because we've had this conversation on the edges about young people not really grasping what's happening. I do know that coming out of this election, once we have the time to spend more time on strategy going forward, that we absolutely need to spend some time on bringing our younger generation up to speed on what going back really means. I had someone ask me, because they heard about something called poll tax. And what in the world is poll tax? And I went, wait a minute. How could you not know? And then I thought about it. It's not taught in the history books anymore. We don't have conversations about it anymore. We really haven't had to contend with what a poll tax is, and the fact that over the years, all the way up till I looked it up till I knew what it was because I lived it. All the way up to year 1965 in my home state of Texas, African Americans had to pay a special fee in order to vote. It was called a poll tax. In fact, if you go into Wikipedia, or anybody who wants it, I'll send the link to you, shows all of the history of the ways that individuals were blocked from voting across this country, but particularly in the southern states, and how long it took for those things to be washed out of the system on a congressional and a constitutional basis. And even after the constitutional changes, the resistance that took place. Those are some of the things that we're talking about, that she's talking about, as far as we will not go back. We will not go back, relative to what's happening with reproductive rights. We will not go back as far as the types of tactics and systemic setups that were there to prevent individuals from voting and from exercising their constitutional rights.
I'll go you one better.
What's that?
This week, the Supreme Court decided that at least 1,600 people, including some known to be U.S. citizens with every right to vote, can be removed from Virginia's voter rolls before Election Day. Now, remember, because they weakened the Voting Rights Act of 1965, this allowed states to do whatever the heck they wanted. And so they now have allowed Virginia to continue to purge voters from the rolls just before Election Day. And it is crazy that this is happening. So I'm just echoing the fact that this is the kind of country that if this other man is elected, this is the kind of country we were living in, where you can throw out all kinds of things that would ensure the rights that every American, including Vicki's ancestors and mine, would have the right to vote. And so the conservative majority, once again, and they basically overturned the lower court ruling. And so,
as far as the Supreme Court was concerned,
yeah, they basically overturned, and they just said they don't have to restore the registrations of some 1,600 voters who appear to have been wrongly removed. Now, though
they appear to have been wrongly removed.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So I'm just amplifying what you said. So it has all kinds of impacts. You know, there's a political impact, but there's also, as you understand, there's also financial impact. I mean,
absolutely there's a financial impact, because in the process of what happens as far as the courts are concerned, the application of systemic issues relative to banking, which have also been wrapped up in over the years in providing capital to particular neighborhoods or not, providing access to resources as far as your infrastructure is concerned or not. All of those things are wrapped up and tied together. Remember, we talked about before, George, a long time ago, how things are interconnected. These things do not stand as silos. They are interconnected actions. And when you are in an atmosphere where you have political power that is in the hands of those who do not want for equality or equity, everything gets impacted. That's one of the reasons I put up one of my favorite backdrops, because I look at this backdrop every once in a while, and folks look at it and say, Vicki, there's no way and I know I'm cool, but yes, I grew up in this era of the civil rights movement. I grew up in the time when the assassinations took place with Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers. Those are the times that we do not want to go back to, but those individuals sacrificed. But the thing that I listened to, and if you have a chance to do this, George, this week, go back and listen to one of Dr. Martin Luther King's last speeches, which was The Other America. The Other America speaks to the financial impact, the financial equity changes that were necessary for us to truly become an equitable society. It is time for us to spend time digesting and executing on The Other America. And that is the reason I know, and I'm very clear on, I'll say again, that I'm supporting Vice President Kamala Harris as our next president of the United States. Well, George.
Yeah, we did what we had. We came to do. We had a mission today.
You see my little note up here?
Yeah.
I voted. Okay.
Yes, I voted too.
Encouraging everybody, if you can today during early voting,
do it.
Put down whatever you're doing. The Giants are not going to win anyway. The Buffalo Bills, they're not going to win. Okay?
Listen,
the Buffalo Bills are going to do what they're going to do.
They're going to do.
You have time for 30 minutes to go out and make sure and call your neighbors and your friends in the other states across the country and encourage them to do the same.
No, let's be specific.
Okay.
Call your friends in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Yes, okay.
North Carolina,
Georgia,
Arizona, and Georgia. Okay.
And we all have somebody in Georgia.
Okay. Everybody. Right?
Okay. Make sure, that they have taken care of their vote, and that you encourage them to vote for the Harris ticket.
Yes.
Waltz ticket throughout. Okay. And as I said before, that we have throughout also all of the team members that they need to execute plans going forward. George, I tell you, at this point in time, our plate is full, but I will encourage everyone from last week's show, because we did get some comments from that if you have concerns or questions concerning income planning, how to take a big bag of cash and turn it into income, feel free to reach out to us at info@brackensfsn.com. I might even teach a class. If I get enough people who reach out and
how many people do you need?
I needed 20.
Okay.
If I get 20 people to reach out and say that they would like to get more information and dig deeply into how to convert a bag of cash into income, I'll happily teach a class online to make sure that you have not only just the little snippets that we do on Sunday morning, but a true understanding of what it takes.
All right, we only need 20, so come on.
Only need 20, okay?
Info
315-930-4499 or info@brackensfsn.com. Our plate is full.
All right. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. America's Money Maven is encouraging you to vote.